Welcome to the first ever lecture presentation of Usha Enviro Academy. Let me first introduce our academy. This is not the platform where some teacher is going to deliver his or her lectures and students are just there to take notes. This is an interactive platform for delivering our lecture and hearing from your sides also. We are just in the processing to develop that platform because we do believe that learning is a two-way process. Always there is something to learn for the teachers from our students, and we really mean it. USHA Academy is going to establish such a platform where we all learn through theoretical discussions as well as practical examples. But for that, time is required. But we are confident on our promise. So dear students, welcome you all once again in this forum and directly connect ourselves with the topic. On the first class, our topic is the basic components of environment. We all know the environment, the large-scale surrounding of all the biological processes and the interaction of different mediums, components, flow of energy, isn't it? We all know the environment. It is everywhere. If we think from our perspective, just look outside and whatever you can see is your environment. Sometimes it is microenvironment and sometimes it is macroenvironment. There are mainly three components surrounding ourselves. The number one is our society, the next one is our established civilization, and the final one is the component in which we live. Basically, these components are very much interdependent and interrelated for the cumulative sustenance. The basic four components are atmosphere, the next one lithosphere, hydrosphere, and the final one is biosphere. That is the most important part as we live there, isn't it? Now, in afterwards, we will come into the details discussion on each of the components with the progress of the course. Then come the different types of interactions. Then, what is the interaction? Interaction is the basic process through which the matter and the energy flow from one component to another component. Now, we can say that the basic interaction types are abiotic interactions, abiotic-biotic interactions, and biotic-biotic interactions. Very simple, isn't it? Now, if we go in the details, what will we find? We can see that atmosphere. What is atmosphere? Atmosphere is a layer of gases over the earth crust. How is it logical for us? It is the component from which we inhale oxygen for breathing and exhales our carbon dioxide and left it there for trees. What is lithosphere? It is the rock and earth crust where we stand, build our houses and cultivate our crops, etc. Very simple. I think you guys are well known of it. Then comes hydrosphere. It consists all the water bodies like seas, rivers, groundwater sources and surface waters. It also includes the ice caps and frozen ice areas in the polar regions. Finally comes the biosphere. In a single word, it is we. That means we includes the mankind, all living species, plants, microbes, etc. Then we go to the next slide. Four dimensions of the earth are air, water, land and life. Very easy. But here we have to go to the little deeper inside of every individual components. First, we are explaining air. It is the atmosphere and it is the complex fluid system of gases, moistures and suspended particles. Say for example is cloud. There are suspended dust particles on which the water vapor accumulates. That are the latent heat sphere of water molecule vaporizes to agglomerate on the dust particles from, form clouds and during precipitation and it becomes rain. It is the very basic example of flow of the matter from atmosphere to the lithosphere. In the atmosphere, different temperature columns are noticed with different temperature variations. And that variable temperature is the characteristics parameter of the environment. That's it for air. Next, water. It consists the whole water mass on the earth crust and the moisture contained vaporized from the surface water bodies also are included in the hydrosphere. The basic parts are broadly classified as surface water, which are on the surface of the crust, like rivers, ponds, lakes, etc. And finally to the ocean. And the other part is groundwater that remains in the ground, not always visible with naked eyes, but it remains at a certain height underground, called water table. There is another part, the frozen ice caps in the polar areas, which are narrowly classified as cryosphere. From the day one of our education, we start to learn that two-thirds of the earth is water. But very fortunately, our unscientific exploitation and the pollution has made the most abundant resource of earth very scarce. And majority of the earth's surface has now become a threat. You all know that. The next part is land. This is the outer boundary layer of the solid earth. These components of the lithosphere. This component of the earth is major contributory factor for the minerals and overall nutrients for the plants and the animal kingdom indirectly from the plants. This is the platform on which the life forms gets the scope of the evolution. This layer consists silicates and the carbonates of minerals in the form of soil, rock, sand, stone, etc. All the life forms get their nutritional value from it. It is the most abundant habitat for life forms. The next is life, that is the biosphere. The biosphere encompasses all the areas on the earth crust, deeper and above of that where the creatures are abundant for their lives. In the biosphere, the plants, animals, and even planktons and other microbial organisms live. So, this layer is the most important bioresource of the planet. But on this biosphere, there is some species distributions. Now, in our known geological cycle, humans are now playing the most important activities to be the most evolved creature. So, the biosphere is the ultimate center point of today's researchers, as the survival of mankind on the earth is directly associated with the sustenance of the biosphere. The other components provide the flow of energy and matter to the biosphere, and the life forms grow, develop, reproduce, and evolve all the biosphere. Okay, students, now I shall discuss what the interactions are. Interactions means the flow of which, that is the flow of energy and the mass. We know the very common example of photosynthesis. The trees collect nutrients from soils, minerals, and water by its roots, transport to its kitchen, that is leaves, absorb the carbon dioxide from atmosphere. The main three ingredients of carbohydrate are now collected. Now the biological process, some very critical free radical reaction starts for synthesis to carbohydrate, and that will fulfill the nutrition of tree itself and to the total life sustenance, flowing through different food chain levels, flow of energy to the ultimate highest level of consumer. And after dying, the residual nutrition will again go to the humus content in the soil in lithosphere. That is a cycle which continues for life after life, but the changes of matter and energy flows continues. So there are two common forms of energy. One is transportation and another one is transformation. Water vapors transport to the troposphere, condense to from water droplets, gains a huge potential energy, comes down to the earth's surface as rain. Longer retention, more heat exchange forms ice particles, results in haze. Now, if we think the transformation of energy, the potential energy generates electrical energy in the hydroelectricity generator. These are very common examples of our environment. All we know this, but only difference of identification of the environmental components in different forms continuously transporting and transforming from one state to another, from one shape to another, with different directions, with different energy contents. The interaction is classified mainly in three types. I have said before, abiotic-biotic interaction, and biotic-biotic interaction. Abiotic interactions are the flow and the interaction of energy and matters among the three spheres other than biosphere: hydrosphere and atmosphere. What are these? Very common example of evaporation from the surface water bodies and reaching the troposphere, then the rain formation and precipitation. Lithosphere and hydrosphere, what is it? There are numerous examples of such interaction, like erosion of soil by the flow of river, percolation of groundwater recharge through the soil layers, etc. Then comes interaction between atmosphere and lithosphere. A common example of shifting the sand dikes with airflow, etc. Now, abiotic-biotic interaction. Hydrosphere and biosphere. The overall marine and aquatic life sustenance ecosystem is the best example of those type of interaction. Now we can explain lithosphere and hydrosphere interaction. In such types of ecosystem, interdependency is the main contributing factor for nutrition and mineral supply for the animals. The salts and minerals are stored into the soil. Microbial actions makes these fragmented and suitable for root uptakes, then received by plants for cooking the carbohydrate, for the plant itself, and for the overall animal kingdom who are dependent on the producers of food. Now we can explain interaction of atmosphere and biosphere. Though the photosynthesis procedure is a good example of carbon dioxide intake from atmosphere by the plants, but the another one is respiration. The air on the troposphere is perfectly balanced with 19.6 to 20% oxygen content and diluted by inert nitrogen gas to inhale it by the animals for respiration. We commonly say we intake the oxygen, but truly the air, even in the oxygen cylinders given in the breathing problem patients, which is perfectly balanced with oxygen content. Now, the next one. Then the final interaction is biotic-biotic interaction. All the prey-predator relationship throughout the food chain is the perfect example of interaction inside the biosphere. We all are the example of that interaction. Either for the vegetarian food, we have to depend on green plants, which directly photosynthesize, or for any types of animal proteins, we depend on lower order food chain members. Without these interactions, the environment can't. So, students, hopefully this part of the lecture make you all understood what are the components of environment, what are the interactions between these basic components. Hopefully you have enjoyed a lot. If you have any query, please feel free to contact your questions through emails at the email ID Usha_Academy 2019@redifmail.com. I will repeat it, Usha_Academy 2019@redifmail.com, as it is coming on the screen. And if you want to have the document format for this lecture, also write to this. We shall explain you all the details of the different components in our following videos. So please stay with us. Thank you.